Which is pretty close.
Okay, I'd like to start the meeting a little bit late, but it is a special event. So, welcome to the Sandusky River Valley Beekeepers March meeting. This is the business portion. They're called to order. Introduction officers, well, they are, it's a wall. Oh, there's one. The other one's in the kitchen. The rest are having delicious chilies. Okay, so the roll call is our sign-in sheet. We appreciate you signing in and letting us know that you're here. So in a half a minute, we will have reading of the minutes by our secretary. Sue. Thank you, Sue. Kozikowski.
Thank you.
And it's somewhere. Yep, there we go. Okay, here we go. Sandusky River Valley Beekeepers Association, February 2nd, 2026 meeting minutes. Call to order. President Kathleen Hahn called to order the regular meeting, monthly meeting of the Sandusky River Valley Beekeeper Association at 7 p.m. on Monday, February 2nd, 2026 at the First United Methodist Church, 5 on West Maple Street, Clyde, Ohio. Roll call was taken by signing in its membership table. There were 38 members present. The minutes from the November and December meetings were read and approved. The treasurer presented the current financials for the club. The checking account balance as of January 31st, 2026 is $1,015.68. The savings balance is $4,047.90. The report is placed on file for audit. Reports of past events and announcements. Club's dues need to be paid by the March 2nd meeting. Christmas party on December 1st, 2025 featured great food and fun despite the winter storm. NAHB was held January 8th to the 10th, 2026, attended by Mike and Lori Gergley and Doug and Becky Ricci. Mike shared that there were great speakers and lots of gadgets to see, try, and buy. The Sandusky Library presentation on January 24th, 2026, given by Laura DeRosier, John Mentis, and Dale Pocock. There was a small turnout due to inclement weather. There were no reports from officers, boards, and standing committees. OSBA report status. The 2026 contact form will be submitted, and affiliate form will be completed and sent by March 29th. This will include the $135 affiliate fee along with $2 per club member. These payments cover SRVBA with liability insurance for all club activities. News from Erie Basin Director Doug Ricci. The full conference information will be available on the OSBA website. Registration opens July 1st, 2026, and will be held at Kent State University in Ashtabula, Ohio. There was no old or unfinished business. New business. Financial budget was proposed by Tim. Sue Kaskowski made a motion to accept the budget as prepared. Dale Pocock seconded. Motion carried. The 2025 treasurer's books were audited and no discrepancies were noted. Kathleen presented the calendar of events. Mike Gergley moved that the calendar be adopted as presented. Beth Muffler seconded. Motion carried. Beginning BG class will be presented by the Education Committee on March 14, 2026. Gary Wiley is the chairperson and indicates that there are currently 20 registered with 30 attendees expected. These supplies list will be available at the March meeting. Please see Kathleen with addition. Adjournment. President Kathleen Connor during the meeting at 7:55 p.m. Motion. So I need a motion to accept, please. Move Rosemary, move to accept, second Ed. All in favor? Motion passed. Thank you. Treasurer's report, please.
Okay, this is going to be representing the month of February for expenses. We had $755.99 total. That included February meeting refreshments, rental hall. We had some office supplies of ink and paper, and picked up the bear labels for the food pantry project that'll happen in November. Also, it includes the audit gift card to the auditor who did go through the books. Then we had income of $1,010, that included a combination of dues and the March class. With the checking account ending in $1,269.69. Savings still has $4,047.09, so we have a total of $5,316.78 in the account. Thank you, Kim. Gas reports, club dues, of course, still reiterated. Please get those paid as soon as possible. If you're needing any help with funds, Chris Earnhardt is here to help you out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So, report from our new director or director assistant, Mike Gurley, on the West Virginia Bee Fair that he attended.
Yeah, my wife and I, mom and dad went down to Ogilvy Park Resort, with them, they've been there. Really nice, it's 750 acres in the beginning, and the only self-funded zoo and resort in the United States, so all the money that that comes in is from the rooms and the rentals, and a really nice place. But they had a bee fair that we went down to. Again, I entered in the contest, did fairly well. But it's nice, it's a smaller one, it's good that anybody that wants to get started in showing, those are nice little shows to go to. Same judgment that's done at Nabi. A lot of the same classes that are there, but again, it's a little smaller. They have vendors, speakers, they had David Peck. They had Freddie Dunn. And the Nature's Image spoke there. It was a nice time. We had good weather down there.
How many ribbons?
Not the ribbons, Mike.
How many ribbons?
So
7 ribbons. And then a report from our actual director, Liason Director, Doug Vici.
Not a whole lot to update you on, a little bit on the upcoming fall conference. The first day will be one speaker, and then they're planning on 4 workshops for the rest of the day. Right now, they're talking about candle making, a dissection workshop, a meat workshop, and apitherapy workshop. So a lot of workshops going on. We had a lot of people ask for workshops and less speaking on the first day, so that's what we're doing. Speakers right now, they've got 10 different speakers signed up. Still looking for a few more. Let's see. Everything else is, I guess if you wear some OSBA merchandise and they see you with it, they're gonna put your name in for a special drawing. See how that works out. And they may allow kids this year. That's they were not going to do that, and I told them that now this year without kids in, and they were all well behaved. So I think they're thinking hard about letting some young kids come in and see what's going on. Other than that, they're still looking at adding 2 new additions to the traveling speaker program. If you're doing a B class, please make sure you use the online form. That's working out pretty good. The only thing that's a little confusing with that, they haven't updated the date on it for the mentorship. It still says 2025, but use that form anyway, it works fine. And they've added a QR code to the new beekeeper section, which takes you to all the resources. So that's what we have also. Chris, you would like to have anything to add?
Well, it's for the Zoom. Oh, it's for the Zoom thing. Well, I'm not even on the conference call. The club was well represented on when did we take that course? December 1st or something like that. First weekend in December. Honey judging course. There was Doug, me, Mike, Kathleen went down to Columbus, all day course on Judge County. And, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. For us.
Yeah, but I think it was in February, I think it was February 7th.
Yeah, December was our annual thing.
Yeah. no.
I don't know the dates anymore
Okay.
since Doug took over my job. It's a lot easier to do that. But, it's a 2-year course. And, so it's gonna take us 2 years to go through be a certified honey judge.
Certified, yeah.
So, but our club is very well represented. I think we've got about 13 people in total.
Yeah.
And, we had 4 of them. We're there fighting for you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, new business, would be the new beginner beekeeper class. Do you have anything to report? Education chairperson.
Oh, he's coming up. Okay. Thank you, Gary.
So we have the, everybody hear me okay? We have the new beekeeper class, beginning beekeeping class scheduled for March the 14th. Right now, we have 26 of the positions filled with a total of 42 people. 41, 42, it's probably gonna end up being 45. But what we do is, so this year we've got more handouts than what we normally get. So we sold 26 of the handouts, we got 4 left. We usually keep one handout till next year so we can remember how to put the notebook together. So we still have 3 positions that we could open up for students, but the class is pretty full. You know, it's really an exciting time for the club because this is the time that we get a whole new batch of beekeepers in. And so it also sharpens all of our skills because we begin to mentor a whole new group of people that are really excited about becoming beekeepers. So keep that in mind here in the next month or so, you're gonna start seeing some new faces show up. In the meetings, they're gonna have some questions that you're gonna say, gee, that question's been asked at least 5 times. We're gonna ask you those questions every time we have a new class. So probably the big thing that we have, the actual class starts at 9 a.m. on the 14th. We actually opened the door today. And the day before, we'll be putting notebooks together and getting everything ready. And so I'll be in communication with people before then of any specific things that we need. Any questions?
No, okay, moving on, we have, the officers had another, Zoom officers meeting. And we would like to offer the club the opportunity to do club t-shirts again. And Beth is headed up, Beth and Brennan, I believe, are headed up that committee. Ad hoc committee. Beth, if you could give us a breakdown, please.
So Brennan brings up the,
I know, I just closed it by accident. There we go.
thanks, Brennan.
Oh, yeah.
So I met with Juan Vela at Fremont Athletic Supply, and this is, we're still working it all out, but we're gonna do long sleeve shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, quarter zip, and hats. Now we're still, so we'll have the black shirts and the gray hats, but we're adding also in black hats with then, and there's also a yellow t-shirt. I brought along from Juan, there's a sample of the shirt. The long sleeve and the short sleeve are the same material. And the sample of what the quarters if you wanted to go with the material is like, putting those up here.
And here's the yellow just up there to see,
So the yellow, now the yellow, I don't think he has in the quarters of, but we can get the yellow in our short sleeve and the long sleeve still, and then we can see the logo's got the white. And the same logo, the darker logo on the black hat, so like those shirts look. So. Yeah, so we're working on that and we should have a fully updated order form in the next few days, and then it'll be online. We'll be able to put it online and send it out post. So I think that's it.
Okay,
Any
great.
questions? No, they don't, they're just,
No.
just an example of material, it hasn't made any mark, so.
Okay, next I have asked our new committee chairperson, public events, committee chairperson and outreach committee, Laura DeRosier, if she would speak a little bit about her activities lately.
Okay, well, tomorrow, Dale and my dad, John, and I are doing presentations at the Huron Rotary. And there's been also interest for a homeschool group. So we kind of started as kind of new committee, for basically presentations. So if anyone comes to you and like to come and present, I'm happy to help facilitate that. So.
Awesome, thank you, Laura. Okay, the bee supply chart list has been completed. I did have some up here. It is posted on our website underneath the classifieds tab. You can reach that. If you click on the link that's under that tab, it brings up the full page for you if you need to print that out. And then, okay, next is thank you for Tammy for being our chili chef again this year. Thank you so much. And last but not least, I think we had some questions or.
Oh yeah, I have a small comment to make. The Seneca County Master Gardeners, we're hosting a conference on March 21st. I knew the cutoff date, I forgot the actual date of the thing. March 21st, we're hosting at the Allen Irie Center in Tiffin, a conference. There are gonna be 4 speakers that we're bringing in, and there's a luncheon involved as well too. I have some flyers up here if anybody is interested. The SRBBA will be there as an organization with a table representing us as well too, but lots of good topics based on the 4 classical elements. I have flyers up here, I have lunch forms up here. There's also a website if you'd like to register on there. Registration date is March 8th. That's the last day you have to register. If you have any questions, I know it's really close too, but if anybody has any questions about it, please email me or come find me and let us know, but we would be more than happy to have you here. It's our first year doing this, so we're trying to make it as big as possible. So speaker information on the back of this flyer and then registrations here on the front too, but we would be happy to have you there. So to support us, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Brennan. Any other comments? I just love my officers team here. Last but not least, we had a club member step forward and did something out of the ordinary for the club. When we set up for fairs, we have 5 of these pictures or illustrations that we haul around to each fair. And they had plastic frames and it was flimsy plastic onto them and they were okay. But Dale Pocock felt it necessary to do something a little better. And he took all of them over to Hobby Lobby and had them formally, professionally framed and mounted. And so it's beyond belief how beautiful they came out. This is an example of one of them, one of 5. And so I'd like for the club to tell Dale that we greatly appreciate your effort and your time and your concern for this club. And it's always something new. Thank you. And then, closing comments, questions? Motion to adjourn, please. Ben Paul. Second. Paul. Sandor. All in favor? Motion carried. Thank you.
And then we shall go on with the presentation of our special guest, Mr. James Simpson. Thank you.
So much. Where am I going from? Microphone? Wow.
Yep, I'd say we're the.
Okay, that work? Good evening, thanks for having me, and thanks for the invite. My name is Jamie Simpson, I run the culinary operations at the Chef's Garden in Huron, Ohio, many of you have heard of it. On that farm, we grow 600 varieties of plants, we sell 10,000 SKUs from those 600 varieties. And we mail them to about 1,000 restaurants in 14 countries globally. It's amazing. I'm a chef. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. Who braised those greens? By the way. That you? Those are great. Those are great.
You know Southern food, right?
Yeah. Born and raised in the South, in love with agriculture and how that relates to food. Super tied into the farms around us as a kid. Fell in love with the Chef's Garden, knew nobody here. 11, 12 years ago, moved up and made our new family, new friends and new people. And been really great. One of those, my oldest friends, John Schick, here in the building, is why I'm here. I spoke to this group 9 years ago. Was anyone here? You remember? All right, cool. Well, a little bit's changed. I look forward to filling you in on what we've been up to.
Then he also grew one. He grew them also.
Is that right? They're really good. Really good. So I almost didn't make this meeting. 7 days ago, I was sailing around the southern tip of Florida, past the northern coast of Cuba, on the day that the American boat was gunned down. 6 days ago, we were supposed to be landing in Mexico when the head of the cartel was killed and Mexico was on fire. So we set sails to Belize. And about 5 days ago, I was in Belize and I went cave diving and I came in contact with some kind of a sinus infection, 60,000-year-old virus. It hit me pretty hard. So my voice a little off and I was pretty sick like 4 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. And yesterday I started feeling humid again and today I worked and now we're going to talk today. I gave you a little overview of the farm. I want to spend a little time on creativity around this thing. It's a business for us. We'll go into economics and how that works for us as a producer for restaurants. It's a fairly different model than most people. And then opportunities that I like to offer or extend to this group that I think you all could potentially benefit from as well. Cool. So, since we last met, we at that time we had about 16 hives. We moved up to 45 hives. We were just trying to keep up with Mr. Schick. And that's kind of stabilized to about 38, 39 of the last few years. That's pretty much the scale that my culinary team can manage. It's me, my dishwasher, my front of house manager, and a cook, and everyone in that kitchen can work a hive. Let's see, we hosted the National Honey Board here in Milan, which is cool. Their culinary council. We did a big 3-day immersion for their chef ambassadors. And then the National Honey Board flew us out to represent them at their conference in California called Menus of Change. And that was really amazing. We added more retail SKUs to what we were producing. We'll get into that. I was able to hire a beekeeper part-time in 2021. And then last year, I fired him. And I'll say, we've built a sustainable model that we operate today. And that's with 3 people. He was great. Love him. All right, so part of that of being a chef and working with these ingredients, we really try and develop like textures or ideas that aren't something you can Google. You know, there aren't things that just populate every honey recipe you ever look for. And so with the National Honey Board, they put us to work on making new textures and flavors and things. I'll kind of go through a few of those briefly. We're able to like take some old-fashioned approaches to fermentation and bring out really floral, beautiful, aromatic qualities. We're also really able to apply heat. Have you ever had burned honey? Anybody? Yeah, take honey to like 300 degrees on a stove until it's smoking hot and almost black. Take it off the heat and then dilute it with water back to its 66 degrees Brix or wherever you want to jar. What degree do we want to jar honey at?
18
18?
or below.
No. That's too low. Yeah, that's too low. Yeah. About 60 degrees, 60 to 80. Yeah. We do, we've got some freeze-dried honey we've played with, meringues and whipped honey, and aerated stuff, and all that's great. But I want to get into this one. This is using honey as a solvent. So, okay. Water is a solvent, we know that. Like oil is a solvent for some beautiful aromatic things. Honey is an amazing solvent. Take anything you've ever made and loved aromatically. Seared mushrooms, chilies. What else is in that? Onions in the greens. What else is in that? Peppers, garlic. You know, whatever. All that stuff, right? And that this kitchen smells good and the stove's perfect. Bury it in honey at that point, and strain it out 2 or 3 days later. The aroma that the honey can strip from those ingredients is amazing. And then use that to braise or glaze your ham or your turkey or whatever, you know what I mean? We take teas, fruits, herbs, pine cones, cacao pods, stuff you wouldn't eat whole, seaweeds, things like that. Just bury it in honey. It's such a beautiful thing that I've discovered that I love, and I honestly can't cook without today. It's a great ingredient. Cool. Trust me. So this one, we'll spend a little bit of time on today. This is our whole frame honey. It's pretty straightforward. Whole frame out of the super, and then a frame stand that I had made that collapses conveniently to ship in a box. Okay. So the feet collapse, this slides into a box that I had made for the stand, and then we mail them to hotels and restaurants around the world. And I can't make enough of them. But the whole frame is great for the culinary world, as you know, who likes to get a better understanding of agriculture. And, you know, sometimes when you're in a resort in the middle of nowhere, you don't have access to, like, you know, raw whole ingredients. If you've seen in dining rooms where they'll roll out a whole leg of ham and slice it table side, or they bring out a whole fish and cut it table side, or whatever it is. That's where our whole frame honey kind of slides in to the restaurant operation, and I love it. But we started kind of graphing this, and we built a lab on the farm, and I want to kind of spill some of this out with you. What does honey smell like? What, if you had to make it and you couldn't use honey to make it, what ingredients would you use to produce that aroma? Flowers, floral. Can't use it. The bees are gone and we're gonna manufacture honey in a lab. What do we use it? Yeah, it is really hard to describe. Now I sat around the table with a few chefs and, you know, these are kind of some general words, as we were cleaning the hives to just to kind of wrap our head around. And then, you know, it's hard to say too, a jar of honey is very different from like scraping hives. But here's some words. Here's some words on a page. Here is honey in a mass spectrometer. Now we have 2 mass spectrometers on the farm, and they're really made for measuring nutrient density in vegetables. But I like it because aromatic and volatile compounds are generally vitamins and minerals, not minerals, vitamins. Minerals are non-volatile, iron, zinc, etc. Anyway, these are volatile compounds. And again, it's just words on a page. When you put an ingredient in the mass spectrometer, it explodes with ton of electricity hits it. It explodes and atomizes that ingredient. Okay? Say if I blew up into, you know, as many atoms as I am made of. Where those atoms land from the explosion point determines their molecular weight. Does that help? So like closer to this end of the graph are some really heavy stuff. Down there is really light stuff. It's also the little number on the periodic table, right? When we cross-reference these items, let's say this is called furfurols, and benzones, and aldehydes, and methyl diacetates, and hexadones, and whatever it is, you know, this stuff. When you cross-reference it, they all have an aroma. And this is everything. This is every ingredient we cook with, every ingredient we eat, even the leather couch you sit on, the car that baked in the sun, the wine glass you poured for dinner tonight. They all have an aroma. And I love honey for this reason. Now, when you cross-reference those individual aromas, you get things that smell like honey. Red almond, citrus, sweet. This is gasoline. I think it's petroleum kind of something. Floral, spicy, wood, floral, weird flowers, tropical, gardenia, honey, rose, smoky, woody, waxy, fermented, pineapple. I mean, it's cool to me. That this isn't like, it's not subjective. This is coming off the honey here and going through a machine and a graph's getting charted out, you know. I use this kind of information to help guide menus and recipes and tea. This beverage in the hive body here, or you're welcome to try. It's a warm tea, and we've infused it with ingredients from this chart. All right. Hive economics. Does anybody here sell honey? Couple people. How's that going? It pays for itself.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay. Some people will say no, and then you'll have a group of people that'll say, you know, yeah, pays and then some. right? Some people in this room, can they do it for a living? Yeah, got a few that could kind of do it for a living. John did it. John did it, but he's a hustler. And stubborn. All right, so here's what I found. I found that the most common, the thing that people wanted the most from me was the thing that took me the longest to do, and the thing that was hardest to pull off. Repeated. And that's loose honey in a jar for me. It's just hard. And it costs a lot of time to me. So I really personally love the cut comb model. This was good for us. And it was good for restaurants. So we started doing some cut comb. I'll get into why we use this 8-ounce size in a little bit. And then one thing I learned from Mr. Schick, I really love the cream honey model. Anybody make this? Great. Because the byproduct of doing this was this. Now it was a perfect system for me. I could cut as much comb as I want. We get $20 for them to restaurants. Everything that drips off on the rack, crystallized, whip, you get $20 for them in the restaurant. It was a good sort of deal. But then every once in a while, you pull 3 or 4 out of these out of every super. It's capped, wall to wall. It's a decent frame, looks good, smells good. And I was like, how can we sell that? Because there's no cutting. Yeah. Right? We're gonna pull it out of the hive. We're gonna put it in a stand. We're gonna close the stand. We'll slide it into a box and we'll mail it. And that to me was the best model. So that's what we did. And to date, I'm gonna run some numbers through you. This is starting when we started kind of keeping track of this. This was 2020. So 2020 to date. We've cut 2,300 of these, which might not be a lot for some people. We've filled 1,450 of these. $20. We've done, 200 and 300 of like, let's say cream honey and this hot honey situation and honey. We started a farmer's market at the Chef's Garden during 2020, which is why I started tracking this. So we got to come up with something because restaurants are closed globally. And we got to do something here. Anyway, we started tracking. Of that cut honeycomb, which you'll see on this column, this basically to me represents total amount of work. This is lifetime units transferred, individual honey products, right? So this is amount of work, number of units. This one is revenue per honey product. All right. So I started saying 2,300 of these cut comb pieces represents like a third of the revenue. It's like the majority of the work and not enough revenue, right? So that doesn't really make sense. So $46,000 in cut comb seems pretty good, but it's 5 years. Not that good. 950 whole frames. Okay. $166,000. A lot less work. Pull it out of the box, put it in the stand, close the thing, put a box there, mail it. Yes, sir.
Do you ship them cold?
We do. Yeah. So I store them double wrap, frozen in super at the packing room. And then when they get an order, they pull it and pack it and box it. So I'm just sending them whole supers, and they have big walk-in freezers there. They're really for the ice packs. It's 2 truckloads of ice packs and a pallet full of supers in those freezers. All right. So this is cool. Like I said, I mentioned a few opportunities. I can't with the 35 hives. I just cannot produce enough of them. So we sell out of them. I would love.
This is always the question of what they're gonna do with them.
Yeah. All right. Good. Good call. So these end up on cheese carts, bread carts, dessert carts. They end up in cafes, bars that just cut them to order and muddle it into a cocktail. The number one restaurant in the world at the time, 11 Madison Park in New York, was rolling it out into their dining room with our roast duck. And they, from here, they would transfer into a little press, and they would just squeeze raw honey out onto this roast duck. It's beautiful.
Hey, I got a comment. You know, so as I was traveling in the Middle East, like when you get in the Middle Eastern countries, Israel, you don't see jars of honey. If you go to a big buffet or a
Buffets.
night out, this is what you see.
That's right.
And people actually take
Yes.
a scoop of honey right off of that frame.
Yeah. Breakfast buffets. I put it on almost every like crudité, charcuterie sort of display that we produce. You know, when you have 40, 50 people in a room, it's easy to add this to a table because people just pull right out.
It looks really neat.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice. Europe, Sweden, you know, the mountain towns and things like that, they do a lot of breakfast items. You'll just eat out there. When it's gone, it's gone. Yeah, so opportunity one. I want to buy your perfect frames. If you want to sell them, I want to buy them. And if you want to sell them, I want to buy them. So let's talk after. You can't talk. I just want your perfect frame. I don't want the partial ones that you can extract. Just want your perfect frames, okay? I asked John, and he's like, I already extracted it all. All right, John. I asked, let's say, Bill. I called Bill Stein up, and he's like, you know, Bud, I'd love to help you, but I sold the business. And, yeah. Done. All right, so that's thing one. He's going in here. I have a one. You have audio? All right, listen. What do I do?
It should.
Yeah. You get audio? Yeah. I think there's words.
We've gone from 1 hive to 3 hive to 16 and now to 45 hive. But why? You know, that goes back to that question, why do we keep these? These are the hardest working creatures on a farm. We have plenty of these, we want to keep these, but we keep them with them for them. And as a result of their work and ours, we get up with honey. So I think it's really important that there's more people that are doing it, not for the honey per se, and not for the vegetables or the pollination or anything like that, but for them.
Here's an answer one of your questions too.
I really love the idea of bringing the whole frame of honey as it exists naturally in hives. Now, what do you do? What's the dish?
Those are cucumber flowers. Some pickled vegetables. Yeah, you are. Like something to share.
Bar carts and cheese carts and bread carts and charcuterie plates. So imagine an open kitchens and closed kitchens and bars. I just see it as a functional, contribution to every dish that people get to reconnect with where the food comes from. Very simply, it leaves a creative freedom to the end user, which is much like the chef's garden, where vegetables and herbs and plants and parts and pieces, we don't offer instruction of these ingredients. We just send them as they are and allow creative freedom to happen.
Cool.
Right.
So here's this is the recipe from today for that tea in that cake. I welcome you all to enjoy it. If I'm good on time, I can go more, but I think I'm right about that 30-minute mark.
Tell me about the plants.
Plants. Yeah, so we're the largest regeneratively grown, certified regenerative vegetable farm on the planet. We grow 60 different flowers, 100 different varieties of tomatoes, carrots, beets, turnips, radishes, potatoes. I work with Louisiana State University, and we develop our sweet potato program, where every year I'll get 100 new varieties of sweet potatoes that don't have names, and I taste them all. We provide them with tasting notes, oxidation notes, shelf life notes, and then in exchange for that work, we get to keep 5 unnamed new varieties of sweet potatoes. We get to name them, we get to grow them, and we get to keep them. And that's a cool thing. Really love that. Let's say we grow all lettuces, greens, and we believe that every stage of a plant's life offers something unique to the plate. This is a little weird for some growers out there who thinks the zucchini's got to be this long, it's got to fit in the box, and that box fits on a pallet, and that pallet fits on the truck, and the truck fits on a warehouse, and it ships. And we don't. How do you get to 10,000 SKUs from 600 plants? Is that the leaves and the seeds and the blooms, the fruit, the pollen, the roots, they're all edible. They all offer something. We grow cucumbers. We grow some really funny, unusual South American and Asian ingredients that most people won't see. It's my job to take those ingredients and kind of guide them to their future in this culinary world. Put a little character around it and maybe a little profile, and we might plate it. The chefs can see what that looks like, and hopefully they can put it on their menu. And if it doesn't sell, then we don't grow it next year. That's the same with the honey. If it's too much of a headache and it's on this guy's menu, but I run out, then it's a problem. And that's why I'm asking you. I want to buy it. I want to buy it fresh.
Do you hothouse them? I mean, do you grow them? And then how do you keep them separate so they don't cross pollinate?
Yeah, good questions. So we buy seeds from all over the world. We buy seeds from seed producers. We produce our own, but not half as much as we need to keep the farm going. But yeah, we do we have about 14 greenhouses for this time of year. And in there might be microgreens, potted plants that you're just snipping leaves from. They do some direct seed stuff, with cold weather crops, like turnip greens, collards, lettuces, things like that. How do you keep them from cross pollinating? You don't. You don't. So if it's a variety that you have to have every year, like the Momotaro tomato, you gotta buy the seed. Because again, we have 100 varieties of tomatoes out there, and we'll put them in the fields and we'll put them in the greenhouses. So we have them by June. And it also helps mitigate risk. If there's weather-related problems out there, or if there's greenhouse-related problems in there, and both can be true any year.
I know, like cucumbers, you know, they will cross pollinate.
Yeah.
And whatever you cross pollinates with will taste like a cucumber, you know, I was just curious how you separate that.
Yeah, so the cucumbers are specific. Those are, we have a dedicated annual all year production, 3 plantings right now. Of one variety of cucumber in a greenhouse. And the majority of that product is the flower. That thing you saw on that plate. We sell 100 flowers to every cucumber we actually sell. And there's one flower that we picked from the West Indian snake gourd. It's a long, skinny, bitter, beastly gourd looking cucumber thing. But we really want its flower. And that flower looks like it looks like a lace doily that my grandmother made. It's beautiful. So we grow that plant for that flower. Now the byproduct goes to like the farmers markets or the home delivery program or whatever else, you know.
Talk about, you know, like a catappa tree, you know, they have like an orchard on, you know, those are eatable.
Yeah.
I can remember my mom getting pumpkins, and she picked the yellow pumpkins and she put them in flour, you know, and
The
cooked them.
blossom?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I can, you know, it's really sad, but when the catappa tree at my house, when it blooms, I mean, it's just, and when you run over them, they snap.
Huh.
You know, there's a cracking sound to it when you run across them.
When was the last time you picked one up and ate?
Well, last year I did. I mean,
Okay, good.
I picked them up. Yeah, you know.
Keep that alive. Keep that going.
Yeah.
Share them with people.
It's a good tree. It's big.
Yeah, cool.
How do you time all that? Wow.
Oh, spreadsheets. Yeah, spreadsheets, like massive spreadsheets. And there's a guy, his job, there's 2 people. We have this brilliant woman from Hungary. She manages greenhouse production, all of it. And then we got this guy from Huron, I love him, Mike, he manages field production. They have their own systems because they're on totally different timelines. But we know if a crop's ready in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks. And so they try and spreadsheets.
It's always in that constant demand to be able to fill that.
Yeah,
If it's a blooming,
yeah, I mean, we lean heavily into asparagus season where it naturally lies. And then we'll do 4 varieties of asparagus. We lean heavily into tomato season in the summer months. We don't try and force it in the winter. But there are certain items we want to have always. And those are mostly greenhouse products. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite ingredient that you like to cook with that you base a dish around? Like, what's your personal favorite?
I mean, I'm from the South, but I was raised in like a sort of French Southern kitchen. I really love like butter. And like salt, garlic, onions, mushrooms, you know, things that can like go with anything. Ham, everything that's in those greens, like I'm also like really loving our dessert program, and I've managed that, and that I'm finding a lot of a lot of interest in like what you can do with like seeds and nuts and stuff. Grinding really fine and making pastes and whipping that or blending it. I love all seeds and all nuts. Big fan. Yeah, cool.
What's that? Champagne price.
It was-
Yeah, it comes down to money.
Put them on the spot.
I think depending on volume, paying price per frame. I'd go between $30 and $40 each. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
With no work.
Good to know.
So
I'm making $160.
$30, $40 each. And that's good for me too. So it's a win-win. All right. Second opportunity that I'd like to explore. I mentioned last year I hired my beekeeper. Not funny. He was great. I'd like to find someone that could come out bi-monthly and just give me like a prescriptive hive inspection. Twice a month. Go through all the hives. Tell me what's needed. We gotta talk about this first, right? We'll be interviewed. Tell me what's needed. And then I can easily then deploy assets and get it done. They're all numbered already. It was a good system already. We've already got that pretty well sorted out. But I would like someone twice a month, I'd be willing to pay that person. Prescriptive hive inspection. Cool. Think about it.
How many acres are these hives on?
They're all together, but they're spread out across around 14 acres in a line. They're wrapped around what used to be a Christmas tree farm, like in the 80s and 90s. And now these are just big spruce pines, where they're kind of tucked in. They're all facing sunrise. They kind of wrap around that.
You're in Shire Road.
We're on the farm is on Shide Road. The apiary is on Mudbrook. State Route 13.
Looking at your website, if you got the fall squash, that looks like gourd. Do you do anything with gourds or the squash? I mean,
Let me see. What are you looking at?
well, that's what I'm, there it is.
No, that's a squash. Yeah. That's like it's like a carnival squash. It's somewhere sort of like delicata. It's round. Yeah. That's a squash. That particular variety, you can eat the skin and all. That's pretty cool.
Because we have a lot of what looks like this, that you just count them as gourds and don't look them like.
Oh, I know what you mean, like the mixed pumpkin palette with like bird nests, gourds, those kinds of things. Yeah, no, that's
I
what
mean, they look just like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes they.
Did you ever eat it?
Yeah.
I was trying to cook them, right? Alright, that's good stuff. Worth trying. I'm done. If you guys don't have any more questions, then like, oh, you're free to go. But don't leave without trying my tea, please.
Very good.
Thank you.